Hey, and welcome back to the Road to the Great Canadian Open Winter 2026. My name is Clarence, and this is my video series as you follow me as I paint up my Brotherhood Without Banners army, 1 hour a day, 1 day at a time. The whole point of this series is for me to help you, to hopefully help you, to inspire you, to paint up your minis and your army as well. For those of you who don't know how to paint, I'm just showing you a technique that's pretty user-friendly called Slapchop. Links in the description below to the original video. And for those of you who know how to paint but have been burnt out painting, you can paint with me and try and paint on a regular basis. I know that it can be hard. So even though I'm doing 1 hour a day, if you can do half an hour a day or 1 hour every 2 days or paint more on the weekend, as long as you have a mind to get back to your models and work on them, you will see progress as well. And I know I've said it before, but a lot of us have a big pile of shame, and we want to get it done and painted and looking cool. And even though some of us put our nose up to a technique like Slapchop, I think a Slapchop army will look infinitely better than colored plastic or primed models. So if you were never going to paint them anyway, and if it's been months or years since you've touched your minis, try some Slapchop. Honestly, they will look very nice and much, much better than otherwise. The second part, of course, is that I'm running a tournament in January 2026, the Great Canadian Open, which I've run for several years now. It's being hosted by TGX, the Great Canadian Expo, run by Lionel Miranda from X-Planet. It's a fantastic event for other games too, and I really thank him for his support in being our patron for a venue. It's been great in years past. We've had lots of turnout for this game, and we're hoping for more. So if you're in the area, if you're from Kitchener-Waterloo, London, Windsor, if you're from North Bay, if you're from Ottawa, from Gatineau, from Kingston, anywhere around here, please come on down and take part to play 5 great games of Song with great people. There'll be lots of cool prizes as well, but I think anyone who plays Song pretty much has what they want, and getting random prizes doesn't always feel great, but what does feel great is being part of a bigger community and playing great games. So do come on down, purchase some tickets. They are linked in the description below for the ticket sales. People have already bought some tickets as well, so don't miss out on your opportunity. It's early now, but one day you're going to turn around and they'll be all sold out, and we don't want that, so get your tickets while you can. With that, folks, let's see where we're at. I'm very excited, of course, because this is actually going to be the start of the last leg of the journey. Let's take a look. Here we are with our last tray to be done, the Stormcore Mercenaries and a gaggle of attachments. So the attachment that actually goes in this unit is Gendry, who gives him resilience, and I think it's called improved defenses. And of course, we've got Edric Dane in the back there, who goes with Thoros and the Pikemen, and we've got our last NCU, Lady Stoneheart, who I constantly call Caitlin Stark, because she'll be Caitlin Stark to me forever in my heart. This unit is the, I want to say, 4th tray of Stormcore Mercs that I've painted. I've painted a bunch of these. I think I painted 2 in my winter scheme for my Starks, and I painted 1 in my summer scheme for my summer armies, like my Baratheons and my Lannisters, etc., etc. But this unit I bought to be painted specifically for my Brotherhood, so even though I usually paint them in a brown, yellow, purple scheme, this will be a yellow-green scheme with the other colors that I use, Snakebite Leather, Basilican Grey, etc., to make them blend in with my Brotherhood army. So, today's goal, folks, is to prime them all up, put the Zenithal of Wraithbone spray on top, dry brush from white, and we'll see how much time we got left. We might do one tester to guide us along on how to paint these guys. I will also probably paint them like my peasants, in that 2 of each sculpt will be painted the same way with different hair color, but the 3rd will have a reverse color scheme to show that they've been beaten up and they're sort of patching their armor together, patching their clothes together so they don't look quite uniform. And with that, folks, 1 hour work starts now. We'll see you when everything is primed up and ready to rock and roll. Around 50 minutes later, maybe 55 minutes later, we are done with the priming preparation process. So priming preparation process, PPP. Love that alliteration. So we went out and we primed them black. That took about 5 minutes, brought them back in, and the undersides and the feet may have been brown or untouched by the primer. So we spent about 20-25 minutes using watery black Abaddon paint to touch those up and get them black as well. When that was dry, I went back out and I did the Zenithal with the Wraithbone spray from a top angle. And then that took about 5 minutes, let that dry, come back in, and then 20 minutes later, we dry brushed all these models white, and they are done. So we spent about 50 to 55 minutes, and
I would have loved to get a tester model done, but that will honestly take way over 5, 10, 15 minutes. So we're going to stop here, folks, and we are going to leave the tester for next time. So thank you for watching this short little episode. Hopefully you're following along. Hopefully you're painting as well. I hope you are making some good progress too. And thanks for the support and all the kind words people have told me. And keep the faith and prepare for some bonus content. Another battle report. See you soon.
Alrighty, the three-peat at X Planet Games. We're playing off against Jay again and his Martells. So I was expecting some Oberon action. Jay's actually playtesting Obara because we are running an ELO handicap tournament in October and he wants to try out Obara, who's apparently the only negative commander on the Martell side. So we got Commander Obara with Edric Dane in the Royal Guard. We've got the Spearlord Captain in the Dune Vipers. What are they called again? Skyreach Bowman, that's right. We've got High Hermit Sentinel in Golden Company Swordsman. We've got Harmon Uller in Sand Skirmishers. On my side, because he's using Martells, and I think that's going to mean Sand Skirmishers, I took my Thoros list, which has Caitlin Stark or Lady Stoneheart for the wounds on actions. So we've got Archers and Hot Pie. We've got Thoros with Edric Dane. I think this is the same Edric, literally, as that one. They're both Edric. No, you're Edric Martell, probably. And Dane? We'll find out. Anyway.
Edric Dane.
It is Edric Dane, so I think it's the same guy. Weird. He's in Pikeman. We've got Gendry in Stormcrow Mercs. Fortune Seeker in the Sword Knights, and we've got Peasants with Tom Seven Strings. Here is the terrain. So what happened? Jay won the roll, put down a Weirwood tree. I responded with a very boring hedge in the corner. It's a non-piece. My reasoning was, he's got lots of rerolls. I can't put down core spiles. He wants a tree. I don't want to put down more trees. So that unit has rerolls because of their order, martial training. Yep. That unit has rerolls in shooting, didn't matter anyway. They have rerolls because of their order.
They always reroll.
Right, they always reroll, sorry, and then they can get rerolls and they're shooting anyway. So bogs don't really do much for the hindering part of it. So I said, I just want no terrain that's going to mess me up. So I put the hedge down there. Jay scoffed, put down a palisade over here, and then I very boringly put another hedge over here as well. For objectives, we've got Vicious on this side here, and very importantly, we've got the healing card. So we're going to zoom out, and you can see that we've got a very classic Jay versus Clarence matchup because I've got my stuff over here, he's got his over here. Predictions. Yeah, exactly. So let's go to the end of round one. All right, end of round one. What happened? Well, Jay did the old switcheroo, and his archers with the maneuver went to here and then marched down here to grab the objective but still be relevant in the game. They pushed up. They pushed up. My round pretty simple as well. They pushed up to grab this. They pushed up to contest the middle. They went sneak to the side to try and get for some flank shots down the road. And then my knights weren't sure where to go. Either I went this way around. I feel like if I went here, Jay would never let me fight 3-on-1. He would just move back behind the palisade. So I decided to come around this way, where I think they're going to push through the middle anyway. So that's the end of round one, folks. Just positioning off to round two. All right, end of round two. So what happened? So Jay led the round, and Jay took the horse to move this unit closer to my archers, so that we're going to get into a shooting war. And I decided to bite the bullet and take the sword early. I just want it hanging over my head the whole game. Strangler. And the sword has a strangler, yeah. So I took out the Ravella, figuring she's the least useful NCU. Jay, did you take a wound from Caitlin?
I did.
You did? Okay, cool. So I shot back. He healed with Peter. I activated, shot again. He healed again. I backed up 3. So they actually failed the panic test as well. And they were actually pretty banged up after a certain point. So the knights came over here to try and finish him off. I did forget he's got the heal, so he had 6 wounds. I figured if I charge in as a start, I could probably kill them with the vulnerable token. But now with the heal, the panic test makes it very iffy. Over here, they grab the objective. Thoros fiery charged into Obara and dealt a little bit of damage. Shield wall blocked a lot of damage. She did feel the panic though, which is nice because it prevented Dauntless. They pushed up to guard the archers, and it's 1-1. So we'll just zoom back, and we'll see how... It's going to be a very exciting turn, I think, round 3. So let's see how this goes. Round 3, the duel, the jabbing, the counters continue. So of note, what happened is...
I tried to gang up on Obara, and I played my Knights of Hollow Hill, which I was saving to block Rising Temp, but I felt like with a charge, a sword, and then another charge, I could maybe kill her. Unfortunately, before I could get my charge in, which would have been amazing with the Coordinated Assault, Jay very cleverly escaped, retreated, and barely, because I had the auto, I mean, maybe I've got the Auto 6 charge card, was able to avoid their charge. They activated, and I did it, unfortunately, too early, because he was able to Crown Zap me, and I dropped the objective. But on the bright side, the combination of shooting and combat killed his Skyreach Woman. He was not able to grab the objective, but I am taking a lot of damage. They did shoot first into my archers and cripple them. They're hurt and now facing up against 2 units. So I'm trying to send Thoros back down this way, and we'll see if they can hold out. So it is right now 2-1 for Brotherhood. Let's go to the end of round 4. End of round 4, and we've got a real back and forth happening here. So, of note, what happened? All the action was in the corner here, essentially. You'll notice I'm missing some archers. Jay, through the sword and the horse, double shot these guys, but I rolled panic tests that passed, so they healed with Dauntless. The damage really wasn't that bad. I took a bag, they healed also, so it really wasn't too bad on this side. He wasn't able to shoot my archers, but he did notice he could still charge them. And he played Reckless Strikes, so they all died. So he gets a point. I spawned a Corsewall over here. With Cunning Ploy, he's able to come back on this objective here and score that as well. The Knights end up charging here to try and lock them in place so that reinforcements can come back this way, which they are. They're both facing this way. Obara sacrificed her activation to Cunning Ploy these guys, and the Peasants just held the objective. So it is now 3-3. Jay just healed a little bit more with his objective over here. This has been very useful. And I'm going to lose Ravella, so it is actually even activations. He's going to have 6, and I'll have 6 as well. So, let's see how this plays out. End of round 5 incoming. End of round 5. It is so close. Okay, so what went down? I'm trying to think. I went first, right? Man. At the end of the day, I ended up just chasing after these Golden Gunny Swordsmen. I hit them with a sword. They retreated over here. I charged them. I brought them down to 1. I had Caitlyn on, so if they did an action, which they have to because they're in combat, they would die. Jay played Cutting Ploy instead, which is brilliant. It got Obara around the edge. She's ready to connect. So it is 4-3. Because Jay has been forced to come off the objectives to block my charges. They've been happily sitting in the corner over here. It is the last round. 4-3. Lots of action. Let's see what happens. We had such a puzzle on the last run as to what was the best opening move for Jay to do. Does he heal 4 with Tyene? Does he take the sword? Does he retreat? Does he charge in the rear? There's so many options. I think this is what makes Song a great game in general, is just like, what is the best play? What's the opportunity cost of not doing something as well? It's just a great puzzle. So we ended up with the heal. I ended up taking the sword to cripple the Sand Skirmishers. And then Jay did a charge into the rear of both units, which we think is legal. However, we made a big error. He rolled the dice for charging. He rolled a 1, and that was critical because he had Reckless Strikes in his hand. He still gets rerolls because of martial training, but the critical strikes may have let him one-shot a unit, or at least cripple it down to nothing, right? So because he forgot that, he charged these guys. They did get hurt, but sudden retreat with Edric meant that they healed a bunch. They flanked the skirmishers, killed them off, and then since they're activated, he only has this unit left. They're going to like retreat maybe that way, grab that. I'm going to come back and grab this, so it'll be a slight 7-4 win for the Brotherhood. So good game. It was a very, very good game, actually. Like, it was such an intense, like, decision-making, like, round after round after round. One little mistake, and you know what it is? It's just practice with Obara. You know, because I think Jay's go-to is really Oberyn and Harmon, I'd say?
Oberyn and Dorn.
Oberyn and Dorn. So just remembering little triggers and little things like that. But it's a really good game, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.